2. We're live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spiritual Talk. It is 12 noon here in Canada. And Alice, what time is it where you are?
It's 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. So welcome to Spiritual Talk.
Wonderful.
Hi, ladies. How are we doing?
Fantastic.
Hi, Paul. How are you? How are you? How are you, Jane? Are you okay, both of you?
I'm okay.
We practiced that intro so well, didn't we?
We did, didn't we? It went so well, Paul.
Do you know what? It doesn't matter. It's it's about having fun. And guys, I hope you have fun watching this as well. We love the fact that you can laugh along with us and not take this too seriously. But having said that, we do interview some amazing guests on here as well, don't we, guys?
Yes,
We do.
And
Yeah,
today's
we do.
quite a special day as well. So Laurie's already put happy birthday.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Laurie.
Yeah.
So I can't believe 2 years of my life. If you look at some of the early videos, you can see the lines and the stress that's kind of I'm aging as I go along.
I don't know if that's good or bad, actually.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all worth it. People seem to enjoy us. I don't know, but they seem to keep coming back for more.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
me
that's
too.
it, and this is great, being on here, especially when it is 2 years, to celebrate, so thank you for asking me on as well, because I've not been part of that journey. So
No, me neither. That's great of you that you created this for the spiritual community and beyond.
Yeah.
You've
This
done
is kind of
amazing.
you, Paul.
It was a lockdown thing, but myself and Anthony, we had this lockdown idea. We just wanted to create something different that's not been done before. So we wanted to kind of bring education to people and philosophy as well. I mean, we've tried to, we've interviewed some of the best mediums that are out there, in my personal opinion. Serena's just put a lovely comment. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Serena. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But guys, don't forget to like and share, because tonight is going to be no different. I am supposed to be having a night off, but I couldn't really have a night off with being our second birthday. So
no, definitely not. No, you have to be here. You definitely do. So I'm glad you are here.
Yeah. So Sophia's just said hello as well. She was a guest as well. We interviewed, I think it was season 3, wasn't it? I believe we interviewed, and Heidi as well. We've had Monique. I must name them all, so in case I get into trouble. Leanne, and obviously Anthony. So we've had quite a few co-hosts. You guys have completely changed it since you've been on. You've lifted the energy, and I love it. I love working with you both. It's fantastic.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I love being a host. It was something different for me to try, and I'm glad I stuck with it. And, Alice, you're fantastic, and Paul, you're fantastic. So good team. It's all about having a great team.
It's a kind of high five all round, really, guys. So we're going to start with messages, because I've put together a little clip of some of the past interviews, and they're great. And right at the end, there's a few funny moments. But unfortunately, my computer is still downloading it. So we are going to go into messages, and fingers crossed it'll be ready in about 20 minutes or so. So guys, we'd love a card if possible. Paula, I'm sorry, we don't do cards. We literally connect with spirit, and we connect and bring the messages through us rather than using cards. Okay. Carol's put, we love it. You are all amazing. Thank you, Carol. Really appreciate it. And don't forget to share, guys, as well. Don't forget to share.
Yeah. Right. And we're doing an interview with you later as well, aren't we, Paul?
Yeah, you can interview me a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
plan. Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you want to, yeah,
Will we
unless
do
you
that
want,
now? Will we
you
do
can
that
do it
now?
now if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Because
do it now.
this is the start of how it all began, and we're celebrating tonight because of what you have built and started up yourself. And for those perhaps who don't know where it all began, then can you explain what gave you the motive to begin all of this? Because I know you are a medium yourself and you've been working for years and years. So what came into your thoughts for the change to happen to actually start this?
So obviously, for a lot of people, lockdown meant so much for so many people, and there was a lot of online stuff out there that I didn't agree with necessarily. Again, my opinion. And we wanted, like I said earlier, Auntie and I wanted to create something that helped people, educated people, so people that are on their own spiritual journeys. And it's really difficult because there is a lot of, and of course, it's always opinion based, but there's a lot of stuff out there, and I do believe sometimes people can get the wrong ideas, and if you get the wrong ideas on this specific subject, it can send you in a different direction. And that's why we try to interview people that have been working for many years, that have many experiences with spirit, and also those that are teachers as well. So, so we kind of started off a bit loosely, like that. And our first ever guest was Laurie Sinclair. I don't know if you're listening, Laurie, all the way from California. And Laurie specializes in astrology. I know she's a medium in her own right as well. I must say that. But she is also into astrology. She does that. That's her kind of, is that a main thing? I'm not sure. I might get into trouble here, so I'll just shut up at this point in case she sues me. Yeah. Lots of mediums. Someone's put lots of mediums needed to work online. Absolutely. It seems to be the new church today. Lots of people are connecting via online. And I think it's a brilliant thing. I really do, because it creates a community within itself.
Yeah.
So, Alice, you do your own online church as well, don't you?
I do. I feel a bit like yourself, though. I think it's good to have both. It's good to have your physical part of it, but also the online side as well, because not everyone can make it to centers or churches, and also it's good, I think, for younger people to see this as well, and realize it's actually quite natural, and there's nothing scary about it,
Absolutely.
And to enjoy it, because that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of my experiences, understanding what was happening to me when I started to work with spirit, and understanding or taking the fear away from it as well. That was really important for me.
Yeah, I can understand that as well. But I think it also for people to watch this as well and see, especially people who perhaps are grieving, and think, oh, hey, maybe there is something about this, I'll watch that show again and see what else happens. And then you've got different people coming on with different mediums, different variations of different things. As you say, you've got lots of different people that come on the show. So I think it's a good variation for people to look and get different experiences from.
Absolutely. So do you want to should we try and upload this file and see if we can get Spiritual Talk the going back in time, see if I can get this up. I'm not sure if I can get this up. Bear with me, guys. Because if we can go with that first, we could and I've lost a piece of paper. Bear with me. Maybe do a message first. I'll concentrate on this while you guys are doing a message, and then we've got Paula keeps coming on back screen. So how we work, Paula, is we've sent the link out. If this connects to you, then please come in the studio. So we don't really kind of want to encourage anybody until you understand the link that you have. Okay, we have, if that makes sense. Who wants to go first?
Alice does.
Okay, well, just give me a minute
My
then.
voice isn't that great. So Alice wants to go first.
No problem. No problem.
Give me a minute. Okay. So let me see. I mean, Spirit know that I'm working tonight. So it's not that they don't know. But just give me a little minute just till I.
No problem. No problem. Guys,
Okay.
if you're watching, let us know where you're coming in from as well. I know we get out in around the globe, and like to know where you're coming in and where you're watching from.
Okay.
Hi, Chrissy. She said, "Happy birthday."
Is there someone? Oh, there is.
There's someone in the back, but I think Paula is new. I'm not sure if she knows how we work, so she's going to wait in the back and wait and see. Bradenham. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm not sure. Sarah's coming in from Norfolk. Laurie's in Victoria. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. I have a lady coming forward from Spirit World with a connection to Merseyside. So I don't know if she lived in Merseyside or if there's someone on here tonight who lives in Merseyside. But it was Merseyside I got, and I think that's Liverpool, if I'm correct. But I just got Merseyside, and this lady's coming in as well here. I feel with her too. She as she comes in, she was quite a vibrant lady. But her world changed. And she talks about where she started to become quite withdrawn in herself. From being quite an outgoing personality, and she loved her colours as well, to becoming quite sick, quite ill. Now she had ongoing health conditions. I feel I feel a couple of ongoing health conditions here with her. And then she says, she's also just not, I feel she did connect to Merseyside, Liverpool. There's something about the prideness of this, something about being really proud of living in that area. So she's given me Merseyside. She's also talking about the misunderstanding between herself and another person before she crossed over. A misunderstanding she talks about before she passed to Spirit World between herself and someone else, that she wishes that she sort of sorted out before she passed. Okay. And this other person thinks about this a lot as well. I don't know if the name Brian means anything as well, because I'm also getting the name Brian coming in. So I'm getting the name Brian. Merseyside, this lady, I'm getting a lot of chest problems with her. I don't know if this was like chronic bronchitis or emphysema. I feel something.
Sorry, my bad. I found it anyway, so I'm so sorry. Carry on.
Okay, all right. Okay. So I don't know if anyone's taken any of this so far of what I'm actually saying, but Merseyside is the main connection here so far.
Yeah, so if you understand this, guys, and you're have a connection with Merseyside and you understand the information that Alice is giving here, we really appreciate coming on, guys.
Okay.
Coming on, taking this message from the spirit world.
Okay. I've also got the name Brian. I don't know. I don't feel he's in spirit world. I feel he's still alive, but I get the name Brian as well. And this lady talks about a chest condition like emphysema or bronchitis. She talks about Merseyside. I know she was very proud of Liverpool. And she also talks about having a misunderstanding with someone before she passed, and wishes it had been resolved. She also says, I've got a sister or a sister-in-law in spirit world with her now. She's bringing me that as well. Sister or sister-in-law in spirit. Okay. I feel as a gentleman on tonight that this would be more connected with. I feel there's a gentleman on here. Is there somebody called God
Goddard.
God something? God.
Oh, I did see a name.
There's a
Uh,
Peter Goddard. Peter
God-
Goddard is on here.
Who?
Peter Goddard.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Peter Goddard. Right. Okay. Peter, can you take some of this that I'm mentioning? Excuse me. Can you take any of this?
Sarah says, I can take the Merseyside and possibly the misunderstanding.
Okay. I'm still got God something as well. Okay. And if Peter Goddard can take any of this, if you can let me know as well. I kept getting God's something to do with God. I'm not picking it up properly. But Sarah said she can take the Merseyside. Is that correct? Is that
She
correct?
says she could take the Merseyside.
Okay.
And possibly misunderstanding.
Would she be able to come on? Is that any possibility?
Sarah, we'd love you to come on. If you can come on, that'd be absolutely brilliant. I'm going to share the link into the comments. I'm not sure where you're coming in from. If you're coming in from a group, try and get onto a page. Okay, you'll be able to see the link. Okay, I know some people have been trying to get in. They started before we even started.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so it's gone in. So hopefully, guys, you can jump on. Sorry about the dead air time, but it happens when people are trying to come in. There's that little bit between, isn't there, sometimes?
Yeah. So hopefully, Sarah can join us, because it's good if you manage to get on. It just makes the link even stronger, and a better connection for actually bringing forward more evidence along with a message. So if you can come on, Sarah, let us know. If you can please just make a comment if you can, and I will do my best to work with you blindly.
Yeah. Everyone, thank you. Everyone that's wishing us happy birthday, by the way. We really appreciate it. We've got Lynn Callum coming on. I'm not sure if she can take this. Let's see if Lynn can take it. Hi, Lynn. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Do you understand the information that Alice has been given about her contact? Did you hear that part?
I've just I missed a wee minute of it.
Oh,
no, sorry.
That's okay. Do you mind if we put you in the back room?
I never heard it.
That's okay. So,
no, that's fine. That's fine.
We'll put you in the back room. Just have a listen. So Alice is going to repeat the information she's got, and see if it connects to you. It's a Merseyside connection.
Right, Sarah is the link's not coming up, and each time she tries to comment, she's losing us.
Okay. I'm sorry. Try on YouTube, because it will go into YouTube as well, the link on Spiritual Talk Live. If you jump onto YouTube, it won't go anywhere. It's steady. Unfortunately, we've been having lots of problems with good old Facebook. Yeah, we love Facebook.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, if not, we've got a little treat, because I've spent the last 3 nights putting together some past interviews, and I'm some of my favorite clips, some of my favorite moments, and there's been many, and there's too many to put up on here, to be fair. And it's just I wanted to put these together and play them. The first one, some of you may remember, is the amazing Elaine Thorpe. Now, Elaine Thorpe has her guy Jonathan, and Anthony and I in season 3, we actually got the opportunity to ask Jonathan questions. It was pre-recorded, so we couldn't ask the audience. By the way, Elaine has agreed to come back on in the near future, which is really good. So we're going to see a bit more of Jonathan. And I believe we've got Minister Colin Bates as well. It's one of my favorite interviews. And there's a few more on there. So shall we play it, guys, and just get into it? And we'll come back to the message. So don't go away anywhere. There's some great information and clips coming up. We will do some more messages at the end, though. All right, guys, because we do want to go out with a celebration at the end with some really great messages for you guys. So yeah, so I'm going to play this. I'm going to try and play this and I'm in control of the StreamYard, and I have to say I'm not very techy, so I do apologize when things go wrong. But I'm going to add this to the stream, and I'll drop the three of us out, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, here we go. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, Jonathan.
Good evening, Jonathan.
It is nice to see you both.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us this evening, and thank you for joining us.
You are most welcome.
So, if you don't mind, we have a few questions we'd like to ask you for the viewers of Spiritual Talk and those of the wider community and whoever out there is listening. We'd like to get the messages from Spirit into the world. One of the first things we wanted to ask you, Jonathan, was about transition and our own transition and what to expect when we transition into Spirit world.
Each one of you is going to be different in what you expect to see on the other side. But the most purported common of visions when you go to the other side is the warmth of the white light. It may be golden white, it may be bright white light. And it somehow draws you in, pulls you into it, and you feel so much love. You can hear sometimes your people calling out to you. They are very, very happy that you are returning home again. They are excited to see you. And so they are going to welcome you when you get to the other side. Some people may purport going into a garden, or they may take on old memories that they are seeing from their lifetimes. Somewhere may they like to have lived. Old memories. Some may go through the universe and travel around it and see it all around them and feel so free. But whatever way they go across, the most common one is the white light that they feel that they are pulled into. Some people will say, well, the white light, don't go into it, you will be reincarnated instantly. No, that is not the case, because I went into it and here I am.
Yes. Yes. That's such a beautiful thing. But do you remember your own transition, Jonathan?
Yes, I certainly do.
Oh.
I remember raising above my body, having had a heart attack.
Okay.
I remember looking at my body on the cold cobblestones, a sunny morning I might add, being it an August month. But I felt that that body looked very unwell and wasn't moving, and I realized that I was feeling very good. Looking down at my body and seeing the people attending to it and waiting for a doctor to come, because in those days there weren't particularly any ambulances. They would have to come by horse and carriage.
Yes.
Although in the later 1800s to the early 1900s, there would have been vehicles, but I went across just before most of that happened.
Right.
But once I got out of my body, there appeared my grandmother that had passed previous to me. She looked so beautiful. She looked so radiant. And I was saying to her, have I passed away? And she was saying, well, Jonathan, I know it is a bit of a shock, but it is your time to come home. And so I took her hand as she had asked me to take it. And she felt so warm, so beautiful, so alive. I always loved her. She was so very close to me. She was on my mother's side. And so I relied upon her to come and take me. As she took me into the light, and as she took me there, she disappeared. And I wondered where she had gone at first.
Yeah.
But I knew that I felt fine, and I knew that I would see her in a moment. And then I felt myself going into a beautiful, warm, loving light. If you were to look at it with the naked eye, you would probably put sunglasses on. It was so bright, but yet not blinding. I was able to feel myself enveloped in it. And as I came to what seemed like the end of that white light, I felt so free, so wonderful. Yet I felt like I still had a body, yet I was a light being. And there she was again, my grandmother, welcoming me home and saying, "Jonathan, this is your home now." And I was so happy to be there. Then I was put in front of what you call God, the giver of divine.
Ah.
Yeah.
And there I was shown the entirety of my life. But having said that, the most poignant parts of the entirety of my life, I was able to say, well, yes, I did well in that part. I didn't do so well in that part of my life. I could have done better. And I was proud of myself in that part of my life. So you see, everything is shown to you in what seems like a moment. It flashes by in front of you, but yet you can make it out in great detail. And so that is every thought and every deed that you ever did in this physical lifetime. And thereafter that, I would hear the angels singing, welcoming me home. Many people will take a different journey around and see their guides, see their loved ones. They sort of want to get used to the whole experience again, having lived an earthly life for quite some time.
Yeah.
Those that pass in childhood, well, they feel as if they have never been away. And those that pass in adulthood in a state of shock don't always make the transition to the light straight away. They may hang around until their funeral takes place, and then they will go to the light, knowing that they have passed, but they will always be loved and taken care of. They may have unfinished business, you see. Or they may hang around if it is a murder until the mystery is solved, but they will still be in the light. And once the mystery is solved, sometimes they will go further into the realms of spirit. But you will always be loved. You will always be taken into the light.
That's beautiful.
There are those that go across in trauma, and sometimes they go through the darkness because they have gone across in terrible depressive states, through no fault of their own, because they are loved, but they go through that realm and experience it and call out to God, and then they are immediately taken into the light. We love you. So that is where I went. That is what I experienced. It only seemed to be like a flash of a moment. Yet it became my eternity.
Okay.
I was to learn many things about connecting with your world in your time. So I do hope that explains it for you.
Beautifully. Thank you. Because a lot of people fear death, Jonathan. They're not necessarily fear how they're going to die. It's more that process of dying. That was explained beautifully. Thank you.
Well, I think that there need be no fear because you are eternally loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people go across with certain regrets in life, but they will see that when they are shown their life paths. But your soul is infinitely beautiful. It is perfect. So you are not judged.
Yeah. Nick, we had that same. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we?
Yeah, just before we came to air. Yeah, we were.
I think the important thing is to understand as far as we can, what the aura is.
Yeah.
What there are two extremes in the human being. The deeper extreme is the physical personality that you and I happen to be at the moment, which is a very temporary experience in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
I loved the phrase. It's Deepak Chopra said, I am a confluence of all the forces of the universe pretending to be Deepak Chopra. I think that's wonderful, a way to sum it up. But you've got the sort of personality, and then you've got the divine, the absolute, the infinite. But in between, in our journey into consciousness, we, for whatever reason, we decided to kind of leave the perfect and the blissful and the eternal. Hence stories like Adam and Eve and all the rest of it in the Garden of Eden. And we decided to gain knowledge. And so to gain knowledge, we had to develop mind. The Hindus call it chitta, mind stuff. And we had to develop mind. As soon as we developed mind, we were in trouble.
Yeah.
And the reason we were in trouble was mind always wants to separate things. It wants to see the difference between. And as a consequence of that, we had experiences that grew, and we developed a layer of mind, which we call the mental body, which is made up of primarily the subconscious, but there is another layer of the conscious mind, which is tiny compared with the subconscious. To give you an example, we process about 11 billion bits of information a second, and we're aware of about half a dozen of those, probably. So that's what the mental body is, and then we develop feeling to give different qualities to our experiences, and so that was the psychic, emotional, astral level. It's only called astral because it looks like stars and stuff, really. And then through all of that development, it's a bit like diving into a pool. Of course, we had to work through energies and forces, and so there was an energetic body, and what matter is, where the personality now exists, you and I exist, is basically frozen light. It's like light that's almost frozen. It's at such a low frequency, and our whole job was to dive in, like into a pool, and then come back up again. But when we got down here, we liked it so much, we thought we'd play about with it a bit, and then we forgot that we dived in the first place.
Yeah.
Aura reflects that, and all these layers, which the mind interprets as colors, are actually frequencies. What the mind does, it says, right, well, we'll call that green, we call that yellow, we call that pink, we call this rose. But it's merely the mind's way of interpreting the different frequencies and the different layers that are what make us up. And what fascinates me with a background in psychology is how useful that is if you're helping people.
Yeah.
It's massively helpful, because when you look at people at that level, you stimulate them at that level. If you look at the higher levels of someone, you stimulate. That's why people like being around psychics and mediums and stuff, because you stimulate that in them. It's wonderful. They can feel it. They might not be able to see it, but they can feel it, and they think, isn't it great being with this person? Yeah. Give us a message. No, that's not really it. They want to be with you. And the Russians do a lot of research on this, because I've had my brushes with the Secret Service. I won't go into that too much, but they recruit people like us if you're not careful.
Different aspects of mediumship. There's so many. I've been writing things down quickly to try and keep up with it, and you've put it across such a loving way and such an understandable way. You've kind of also answered my questions as you've been going along, but there are a lot of people that listen to Spiritual Talk that are themselves on their own mediumistic journey or developing themselves. Is there something you can give them, maybe something that happened in your own journey, little pitfalls to avoid, things to help? Is there anything you could advise people on their journey?
Yes, what a wonderful question. Really, one of the main things is to recognize the pathway of the sensitive, and to recognize that there is an aspect within self that is sensitive. I mean, look, for instance, at, you know, our own sensitivity, people, time, places. And that what we don't always necessarily realize is that we are the doorway to our own sensitivity, not the spirit. We are.
Yeah.
And that glorious word "no" is wonderful, because it can bring us into this state of quietness where we are non-receptive to people's time and energy. And it was one thing that I had to learn very early in my mediumship. And that, in a way, was a discipline, so that when I'm working, I'm open, receptive. When I'm in prayer, I'm within that state of being. But when that time is not there, then I'm not receptive. I would never dream, for instance, of, you know, meeting somebody and then all of a sudden starting to pick up on them, because I think it's an intrusion. You know, if somebody started mucking about with my aura, I'd say, well, buy me dinner first and I may let you. But, you know, you don't do that sort of thing, because it's private. And so,
Absolutely.
you know, the power of the empath, for instance, can heighten our own sensitivity. And that really, you know, the foundation that we teach is about understanding your own sensitivity, and that you need to really work on finding your place of belonging, anchoring yourself, and then realizing that the doorway to your sensitivity is through the power of the heart and the soul.
Yeah.
And look, it's like the lotus, you know, and as the lotus begins to open, you know, you've got the Om Mani Padme Hum, hail to the joy, the jewel in the lotus, the light of all being waiting to unfold. And so your sensitivity is like the lotus, and that you breathe deep, you create the sacredness of it, and you bring it into being. And then when that time is finished, you move into a time of gratitude, and you move into a time of quietening your energy, so that you're no longer receptive to people, to time and places. And I think what people don't always often realize is there's a great emphasis on being open and being closed.
Yeah.
Well, if you're closed, you'd be dead, because you can't be.
Yeah.
The energy centers are in a constant state of change: earth, air, fire, and water. And then when you move into that moment of sensitivity, you bring it into being by the power of your will, you see. And the power of your will combined with love creates wisdom. It's the learning process of life. So one thing that perhaps I've learned more and more is that we're not physically designed to be in a hypersensitive state 24/7, because it can lead to emotional imbalance, and then it can lead to problems, real problems. You know, sometimes I have people coming to see me and they can't go into a room of other people because they're overwhelmed by their energy. They can't go shopping because immediately they feel. And so what you've got to do is to really just educate that sense of you are in charge of your energy. Your energy and sensitivity is not in charge of you. And that was one thing that I had to really, you know, really to learn. And there will always be times, you see, you can say, well, you know, I accept that, but not every situation is the same. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you handle each situation as you move into the time of your sensitivity. And then as you move into that time, for me, it's like a joy. It's a light within me. Yeah. And then I take a deep breath. I connect to the earth, my place of belonging. And then I reach for that power which is greater than myself, the universe.
Yeah.
And the power of the heaven, the earth, the sea, the sky becomes one. And the vision is there. And you see, this is where the naturalness of mediumship comes in, because it's also about the need, you see. What is your need? And you notice I use the word need, not want, because everything is known to the power. And therefore, when you move into that moment, the power already knows what you need. And that's the most wonderful thing, you see. So you can say, well, you've got to do this, and this. Well, yes, you have in a way, but the most greatest thing is to listen. You know, one of the strongest gifts of this age is the claircognizance. It's the clair-knowing.
Yeah.
Honest, truly. And the feeling and the knowing creates atmosphere. You know, even if you see a vision, you don't know what it means, but the feeling and the knowing will take you through the vision to the understanding. And then you've got it, you see. So really, I would say understanding, you know, your own sensitivity, and begin to realize that actually there are times when you need to be separate within the world, even though you're surrounded by everyone that you know and love, that there's something that calls you to the quiet, to the silence, you know. And if you look at, for instance, the Pathia, the oracle, look at the priests, the prophets, the seekers, the seers, they all lived separate lives. The wise woman of the village, they all had to be just a little bit outside of society. They all lived by the sacred spring, because that connects the emotions to the upper conscious, to the super conscious.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll always find you love to be near water. You may not want to be in it, but you like to be near it. So, and really learn to listen. I mean, in the ancient world, they used to sit for 7 years in the silence to understand the power. Well, you know, I can't. 7 minutes and my mind's picking. And so if you can imagine what they did then and what we do now, it's a little bit different, you see. And this is where perhaps Gordon Higginson had a more of a point when he used to teach. And what he always said was that, you know, what you should learn first is to become one with the power.
Yeah.
What you should learn is really how to become one with it, and then learn how to communicate. Well, you know, everybody wants to speak to grandma, but they want to do it by Saturday. And you know, I can appreciate that, because that's the instantaneousness.
Connections and working that way. What was your response to that?
Well, of course, the psychic connection is what we may, if we want to be scientific and talk about vibration, the psychic connection is a sort of a lower, colder vibration. Okay, if I can say that to you, to me, when I'm working psychically, it feels very flat, and not cold in an awful way, because I like to blend with my clients. So it feels flat, as opposed to when I get that oomph, that lift of the presence of the soul I'm working with from the other world. Yeah. There's an absolute definite definition, but sometimes it overlaps that people can't make the difference out, or they have to learn how to do it. This is why we recommend you learn to sit in the power, so you feel the presence of the soul communicating from the spirit world. It's a different feeling. Yeah. For myself, when I'm working psychically, it just feels like I'm giving out information. It's just, I don't get moved by it unless there's a need of that's something inside them that I'm talking about actually moves me as well. But when I get the spirit connection, there is actually definitely a movement with me, a shift. And so I know that I'm in the presence of someone else, not just my own mind. So as mediumship flows through the psychic faculty of the mind, you must remember the information from the spirit flows through the mind in an array of thoughts and impressions through the medium's mind, and the psychic work is from the mind. So the psychics are working from here, from their mind, as they blend with the energy to do the reading of the person in front of them. When you're sitting making a contact with the spirit, it just flows through. Does that make sense, Anthony?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good way of explaining that as well. The difference.
And that's the thing. It's all about education, really, understanding what the process is of when we connect from ourselves to the spirit world, to having a contact. I don't like to use the word contact, but because it denotes like without emotion, but that spirit person coming in. But I mean, the word itself, psychic, I believe, am I right in saying that it's it's a Latin word meaning
Greek.
soul?
Yeah,
Well,
it's Latin, Greek, it's soul. Greek word it means soul. And that's what a psychic does. And I think psychic work is so rewarding. I do a lot of psychic work. And so you can use that element of the psychic mind on so many different levels. I work with a lot of businesses. So I might do a little bit of business projection. So I might get a feeling of things around people's businesses, guidance, that sort of thing. But always remember, when we're working psychically, we're only ever working with potential and possibility, because people have free will, they have responsibility. And also when you're giving psychic information, there is a whole lot of variables around it. So to say, oh, I'm going to predict this, I'm going to do that, is a no-no. You must learn to understand the feeling that you're getting around a piece of information. You might have a sense of a timing or a sense of a situation that may occur for them. And you present that to your client as an opportunity or an option, not telling them what to do. Because the variables around the options and potentials you see with people can really define in which way they will go.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But yeah, absolutely. So there is always going to be an element of the thinking process and the energy, because I know with everything has energy, and I know even a company has its own identity of an energy.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but it's those people in charge that can change the outcome, if you like.
Yeah.
So I know somebody who advises clients the best people to employ for certain roles, which I thought was quite a unique way of doing it.
Yeah.
So the idea of the CV goes out the window. Does this person suit this role? Which I think is quite unique and a great idea. Yeah, but how? Excuse me, from an individual point of view, how do we develop it? Not just can we do exercises? I mean, sitting in the power is great for a lot of people, but some people say, oh, I don't have the time to meditate. Is there anything else they could do to help them to develop their psychic?
With the psychic? Well, I believe that people should, if they're learning about mediumship in the spirit world, I still think they should learn about the psychic side, because it's such a wonderful, majestic kaleidoscope of opportunity to learn. You learn about all different aspects of symbology, different aspects of colors. There's different sensations, different perceptions. There's different patterns of thought you can use. You can do the most, I mean, there's millions of exercises that a lot of tutors, including myself, would do to stimulate the psychic faculty with people, because I'll tell you now, there's nothing more fantastic than the human mind.
Yeah.
It is amazing what the mind is capable of. And it is amazing what levels of consciousness we can actually delve into within ourselves and with other people. So once you understand that, if you can get to someone who can guide you to explain things, how you read the auric field on a psychic level, how you interpret different aspects of colors, how you interpret different aspects of symbology, as you grow and develop, you actually create your own code of color, your own code of symbology yourself. And as you do that, the spirit world understand that as well. It'd be amazing when you are developing to find out that they're understanding what you're saying. So you actually develop your own shorthand, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so some people, a lot of people, the majority of people sense color, they don't see it. And so as they're sensing colors, which is not everybody's bag, it's not everybody's thing to do. Like, you learn to interpret and understand it can mean different things. If we're doing a spiritual assessment, we will use color. And we'll do a lot of spiritual assessments on a psychic level, because we're looking at what fundamentally is helping that soul operate, what opportunities are around, where their best pathway possibly could lie, and how we can help them move forward. We have to do that psychically, because the spirit world may come in if there's a helper or an influence who wants to give some sort of information at the time. But we don't just tap in and a great guide in spirit world comes in and says, oh, well, they're going to be clairaudient and they're going to do spirit portraiture and I think they should be a healer, blah, blah, blah. These are aspects that we feel and sense on a psychic level within the soul of someone. And so when you learn to understand the deeper levels of the psychic, it's not just you have red cars and 5 cats and you're a bricklayer. It's much deeper, and way beyond that. And you can do the most amazing work. And it also is a fantastic springboard to stimulate the mediumistic faculty.
Yeah.
So the intuition, I mean, I was from a very, very psychic family.
Yeah.
My nana, my God bless her, my nana used to read the flames in the fire. So when I was a little girl, I often, when we stayed at my nan's, my sister and my brother and I would sit on the couch in the northeast of England, freezing cold. There was also be an old coal fire. And I remember distinctly at times my nana saying, what patterns can you make with these flames? Just relax and tell me, close your eyes, then open your eyes quickly. What colors are the flames? What color does that feel like to you? What does it mean to you? Can you see the patterns? Can you see the face? Can you see this? And she would sit with the flames and tell us stories that she brought from the flames of her fire. And we'd say, where do you get that from? She'd say, well, I'm telling you a story from the flames. So what was happening is her own intuitive perception mind was sensing and operating, and she knew things. She was very, very psychic, very naturally mediumistic. So she knew things, but she could devise a pattern of how the flames went, even to the fact when it was cooling down the embers, when the fire was going out, which way the ash or the embers fell. She would tell you information with it. It would mean something to her. So I grew up hearing that when I was younger, and of course I took no notice. I just thought my nana was nuts, and she told me great stories. But when I look back now, she actually saw things in the flames. And of course, her psychic clairvoyance was firing.
Yeah.
She would say, my granddad died the year before I was born. I never met him. And I was the oldest grandchild. So my gran was on her own all her life. And she used to always say, oh, granddad's been in the fire. Oh, granddad's been at the top of the stairs. And, you know, all that. And just naturally would say it, just like that, just like that. And she used to say, a very old English northern term, she used to say, right, I've seen your granddad in the fire. There'll be trouble in the morning.
Wow.
There'll be trouble in the morning. And we used to go, and I'll tell you, she used to say things and we used to laugh, but her predictions used to happen. So she was quite sought out because she was very well known for tea leaf reading as well. Her psychic mind was flow the whole time.
I was going to say,
sorry, go on.
Because that I wanted to touch on the tea leaf reading as well, and to say she was a tea leaf reader as well. It is, again, it's igniting that the third eye, her intuitive ability, connecting to that. Because I joked with somebody. There's a store over here called Harriet's Tea Rooms, based on like a Victorian.
Oh, I know it.
And a friend of mine was trying to read the tea leaves, and I joked and looked in the cup. I'm like, straight away, I can't believe I'm admitting that on air, but I got stuff straight away for this person. I'm like, so you can read tea leaves, it can be done.
Well, it's just a form of symbology. I mean, I teach tea leaf reading. I do lots of lectures and classes. In fact, I taught it at the college a few years ago. We had masses of teacups on these tea trolleys for this afternoon lecture. It was fantastic. So, no, I do lots of things like that. I still do it now with my mum and my sisters. If I've got something I want to know about, I ring my mum and say, Mum, I'm going to get my tea leaves, I'm going to do my cup, and I'm going to photograph it and send it to you. Sit and read it for me. So those sort of things my gran did, and she passed that down to her daughters, particularly my mum, which passed it on to us. So that's actually stimulating the act of understanding symbology. You know, the rule of symbology is at a place, a name, a situation, blah, blah, and your feeling of perception around those situations, how you interpret your symbols, because they're different for everybody. But it's about how you can actually move and create a wonderful story. They say you're the storyteller as the medium.
Yeah.
You unpack it. Well, you unpack it the same psychically, because you can do that with your symbols.
On other talks as well, talking very eloquently about guides and what they represent. And I'd like to spread the word, really, and your depth of knowledge. And I just think absolutely spot on some of the things that you talk about in this other program. I can't for life of me think which one it was. But I do remember it sticks out about Why do people have Jesus as a guide? Why do people say they have Mother Mary as a guide?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to be honest. In the beginning of my development, and for some years, so not just the very beginning,
Yeah.
I used to believe, and I used to believe in guides by name and by vision. You know, that was my guide. You know, this was my guide. That was my guide. That's a new guide, and so on. And I have to say, I can only share my own experiences, but the spirit world told me that's after a few years, that's not what they wanted me to do. They said to me, it was like me walking into a community center full of people who I know, but I only see one. Full of people that know me, but I only see one. And so what they talked to me about was the collective mind, the collective consciousness that works with us, which is made up of minds. But I don't believe that any of you have got 1, 2, 3 guides. I believe you have hundreds. And I've always believed in the feeling that the system or the process of guides and helpers is very similar to mainstream education. So you come in into the first school, like your infant's school, and you have a set of teachers that take you through that, ready for your next school, which may be the juniors school, ready for a set that takes you through that, then through to the seniors school, and then, you know, further education. But you wouldn't teach an infant university maths. So, you know, all those minds work with us until we reach a point where we've moved on, and then new minds join us.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. So when I look at somebody, I can see the spirit power with you, but I don't see faces of the spirit in terms of guides and helpers. I do when I'm working with mediumship. That's a different story. I'm only talking about guides and helpers. What I believe is in the archetype. So if, for instance, let's just use that term, the First Nation or American Indian, if you like. You've got an image of a man or a woman, and what that image may symbolize could be something to do with the affinity with nature, the fact that they worship their ancestors, the fact they believed in the community and that they were self-sufficient, and so on, and healing and so on. If you looked at, say, the nun, you know, we've got this nun that's got Christian faith, but they often do the same thing over and over again. They sold themselves, if you like, to God. They believe in that power of God. And so it's all about religion to me. It's all about the power of prayer. It's all about maybe working within the community. All of those things talk to me about the stereotypical side of the nun, you know, and that's what I feel that they are. Now, I know hundreds and thousands of people are going to disagree with me. It doesn't matter to me because we're all allowed our opinion, you know.
Absolutely.
This is mine, you know. And I got to be honest, you know, I was the one that said, oh, you've got an American Indian and this is their name or whatever, you know. But I feel there comes a point when I know when I'm with the spirit world, I know their presence. I know those minds. I don't know who they are. I haven't a clue, but I know I don't need to. And that's my point. You know, I know we work together for the same reason, which is to hopefully be of benefit to humankind. That's the point.
That's right.
And that's where I come from. But please, I'm not telling anybody not to believe what they believe. That's not what I'm saying, you know.
But there's a point to that because your experience and knowledge and understanding of your relationship with the guides has taken you to that point.
Yes.
Whereas almost sometimes we can almost not waste energy because no energy is ever wasted, but we can waste our time in some respects by having these archetypes and having these different people. But then maybe is it the human concept that we need that connection?
Yes, because it's almost like a feeling of possession. You know, when you hear those words, my guide says, you know, then that's almost like, you know, it's almost like having someone on your side. That's the feeling. It's like we need someone on our side. We need someone that feels familiar to us. I understand all of that, but I just feel that I don't need to know who they are. That's the difference, you know. But we need to know they're there. I mean, goodness, I wouldn't be here anywhere involved in this if it wasn't for them encouraging me and supporting me and motivating me.
Yeah.
And motivation is a key, for me, a key product in all of this. The fact that we've got to be motivated to do what we do, you know, and I know the input they have with me. I'm sure I don't know all of it, and I know that they chose the short straw when they chose me. But well, you know, because
I'm sure that's not true.
Oh, I do. No, I'm not easy. I know I'm not easy because I question all the time. You know,
but don't you think that keeps you grounded and keeps you real?
So. Yeah.
And that's important. That's really important.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's all part of learning. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think that, you know, I always remember once attending a very small circle. I wasn't in it for very long. But that I remember once I was always asking these questions. And this woman, who's a very good friend of mine, actually, she just turned to me and she said, question, question, question. Why do you always question? Why can't you just accept? And I turned to her and I said, because I'm not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's not
Absolutely.
you.
We're all different.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. But then that lady might have been on her own journey, like you say, on her own journey.
Yeah, no, and she was accepting, but she was born into a spiritualist family, so she'd been, you know, so she'd been accepting.
Yeah, how do we build that power as mediums? How do we consistently get to a point where it's just natural?
Well, I think that's a brilliant thought, and I'm sure, Jane, that you know all about building the power as well. And as you know, I do a lot of teaching, especially these days. And I always say to people that I really feel the most powerful thing that you can do is find time and sit with spirit. Yeah. And sit and sit. You don't have to sit for an hour a day. You don't even have to sit for 30 minutes a day if you don't have it. But if you consciously, anybody who's developing, find some time, I always say, make it regular. Spirit will show up for you. You show up for spirit. And just sit and be open and just, you know, yes, go into a slight meditative state if you feel you need to, but just be open to spirit coming into your energy and just say, Spirit, can we just build the power between us? It's such a simple instruction. And you'll find as you sit that you start to feel the energy coming in. And then you can try as well. A good one. Can I give you a little tip here, please?
Oh, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So a really good thing when you sit in the power, you can feel the energy. Now, spirit won't mind this. This really works. Is just try to get the spirit to step back and then invite them to step forward again, and then invite them to step out and step forward. And it's like working a muscle, and it becomes stronger. And then you can start to feel the difference between when spirit are leaving your energy and when they're coming in. And as you sit and do that, boy, it becomes stronger. You know, you'll find you either cooking on gas or it's like sitting in the freezer. But, you know, it's just give the time for spirit, give the time to sit and be still and allow them to, because the thing is as well, what we have to realize is that spirit needs to get used to your energy in all kinds of different life situations, don't they? Mm-hmm. So, you know, they need to know when you're feeling a bit flat or when you're feeling joyful or where you've got a lot on your mind. So if you sit and offer your energy to spirit in all of the ways that you feel, don't just wait for your best day, go and sit with them. And they'll work with you, and you know they'll build that connection that comes together that works so well when you need it and when they need it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well said. Yes, well said.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's loved ones, guides, angels, it doesn't matter. It's all energy.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just checking. Carol's asked, do you sit with all spirit or just guides?
I think, Carol, what a lovely question. Thank you for joining us this evening. And I would say that it has to be a personal thing. I always used to sit with my guides and work the relationship with them. I would really feel that knowing and feeling your guides is important. You can sit for family members as well. That's really nice. And for those that just want to be close to you, if you're working for your development, especially as a medium, I would say give some time to your guides, get to know them, get to know how they feel. You don't need to know their names or any of these things unless you're a person that wants to know. And me, I need name, address, phone number, shoe size and blood group. But that's just me. But I would say, you know, it's two separate processes. So if you want to sit with your loved ones, anyone who's out there, anyone who's grieving, who's lost someone and wants to connect to those beautiful souls, then do. But I would say set your intention. Now, that's not us being needy or greedy at all. It's just being clear so the spirit know what we're trying to achieve. So if you want to sit with your loved ones, perhaps say, loved ones, could you come forward in this time together? Or guides, can we get to know each other? So again, you know, always respectfully, we always ask sweetly and nicely. Kids, sometimes they need a bit of direction from us.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a great question. I don't know if you can see that one, Jane, from Helen.
Yes. So Helen asks, my question is, I actually don't feel spirit around me when I'm asking for spirit to join me. I've worked on the exercise that you've mentioned, but I'm not feeling it. Any advice?
Okay, so Helen, thank you. And, you know, it can be frustrating when we can't feel spirit around us. Even experienced mediums go through times when the connection's not as strong as we want it to be. Could I just say, Helen, and I mean this sweetly, darling, stop trying so hard. I really feel that's what's happening. I know you want it so much, and we all do. And I would just say, just sit and just say, I'm just open to whatever needs to happen. Obviously, you're working in the right space with the right quality of energies. I think sometimes it's so possible to want it so much that all the barriers come down, because there's also, I think as well, our mind does this thing, doesn't it? The human part of our mind tells us what we should expect, what should happen, what the person in the circle next to us is going through. And then you see all these fabulous TV mediums and think, I'm never going to get there. So I would say, try not to try so hard, Helen. You will get there. Spirit do want to work with you. They never, ever don't work with a willing, loving soul that you are. So keep going. Just keep going. Okay? Hope that helps.
Brilliant question. Brilliant question.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spiritual Talk.
See, now, normally I'd be really ready for this, but I forgot the button. So we are live.
Okay.
We are live, but guys, hi, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Talk, take 2.
But yeah, it's a very fair question. So, yeah.
There is also Carol Turner. She's just like me. So what about someone who eats more sweet stuff? That's me.
Well, let's say we'll find all kinds of fun things in your blood that I'll probably be all over you about. You're going to have more
like Galaxy or Milky Way. Or
oh my goodness. Yeah. So there's a reason why you crave sweets, and that's a reason, you know, there's an emotional need. So if you are needing sweets, you're needing something to make you feel good because your emotional self is bankrupt. That's one of the things.
Right there. Hang on, I'm just picking up my ego. Hang on, I dropped it on the floor.
We can talk after. That's I would carefully say that to someone with a patient.
Okay, I understand. It's fine.
Yeah, but there are certain presentations that will tell us. With sweets, there's what you eat and there's what's eating.
That was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
There was a load of funny moments. There was one today when we first started as well. So if you're watching on catch up, there's a funny moment right at the beginning, and we well rehearsed it, didn't we, guys?
We did.
So there was also one with the Christmas special, wasn't it? Where we just did messages. Do you remember? Yeah. And then because I always tried to click the intro, and Jane, you always managed to carry on talking while the intro starts.
I know, because you just do too fast. Because like today, Alice was supposed to start and she didn't. So
she didn't, and he started. Yeah,
I know, because I'm like, I know you don't like dead air, and I'm like, no, whatever.
Guys, do you think we need to practice a little bit more? Possibly.
No, because I think the way that we do it, it's more authentic than rehearsed.
It is. I like a lot of cheese ball stuff. It's really good. It's got to be cheesy. It's got to be a bit fun. Absolutely. Yeah. So, guys, it's time for messages.
Yeah, it's time for messages.
Poor old Sarah. We started the video, and then she came on. She found the link. She couldn't.
Yeah, she found the link and came on. I know.
Came on. So, apologies, Sarah. If your contact comes back, we will let you. We'll let you know. We'll get you in. It'll be great to see you here. So yeah, I mean, there was some great. We've had some great people on here, haven't we, guys?
Yeah. That was it. That was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we absolutely do. You're so right. We got a great guest next week. And look out for that. I'm going to load that up tomorrow or Friday. We've got a lady from your side of the world. Is she your side or is she UK side, Maria Wheatley?
She's your side.
Oh, she is, isn't she? Okay, I should have known that. But Maria's also got a film coming out as well. And we're trying
a book, yes.
Yeah, and a book as well. So we can't wait for that as well. So we do have some fabulous people. Donna Doyle's agreed to come on as well. So yeah, we got some more mediums and other modalities, and we've got an author next week. So really looking forward to that. So we're gonna start with the messages, guys. Is anyone who want to start? Did you want to go, Jane? Just put you right on the spot. Because you work differently, don't you, Jane? You work differently to us.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah. Did you want to explain quickly? Because we've got some new viewers.
Okay. So I converse with people as angels and spirit guides. The way that I work is it's best to ask questions, and as questions are asked, I will receive messages. It's great having conversations with people at work, because as they talk to me, even when I'm not working, anybody that talks to me, I always receive messages. So that's how I work. Aw.
Oh, someone has said.
I love that. Put it up. It was literally out of the world.
There you go, Jane.
I got noticed too.
We should also say, guys, it's also difficult in a moment in time when we do these messages live to doing a one-to-one reading. It's completely different.
It's very different.
Time. Yeah, we've got that time to blend with the spirit world. We've just got time. So to develop that and bring our connections through. So did you want to go, Alice, or?
Oh, sorry. I thought Jane was going there. Sorry.
I don't know. Like I have like a pain coming in my head. So
okay. So do we want to ask Jane a question, guys? If you send the question in, we will ask Jane. There's something going on. We don't do future predictions, though, guys. I'm sorry about that. We can't tell you who you're going to marry.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I have a pain coming in the back of my head that wasn't in my head, beforehand. So I don't know if any of you are getting that, but I just feel like somebody's hitting me on the back of the head. Oh, don't touch it.
No, thankfully, I'm not getting that. I've had stress all week trying to put those clips together. Very little time. So I would love. Okay, Carol has asked a question. She's put, Jane, can you ask the angels if my sister's trouble she is having at the moment will end good for her?
Can I just get your sister's first name? That would help me a lot. Because I tune into people by their first name.
Yeah, Carol's got two sisters. Trudy Miller, I would love some guidance and advice regarding career, please. So Trudy Miller.
Again, for me, I can't do general questions like that. I need a background of what you are doing now, like what do you want to do, that sort of thing. I need a little bit of background because to me it's too vague.
Yeah. Can you be a bit more specific with your question? Okay, Serena's having a difficult month. Will things get better?
Will they get better? I just was told that yes, they would, but yes, it will. But it is going to take a little bit longer than. I got that pain in my back and the head again. So I don't know what that is, but it will. It will get better. It's going to take a little bit longer, like maybe. I don't want to be specific here, but like maybe 15 days, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks and a day, that sort of thing. But it will get better for sure.
Sharon has put, if I was a pain in the backside, I would have said it was my husband. Haha. Thank you, Sharon, for that. Okay, Sharon is always a joke, and we do love you, Sharon.
I feel like I got kicked in the back of the head.
That will be Sharon's husband. Okay. I'm joking. I am joking now. Okay. Carol's put Sheila.
So what was her question again?
So, Jane, can I ask, can you ask the angels if my sister's trouble she is having at the moment will end good for her?
Sheila to me feels, the way I'd like to describe it is she feels like a feather on the wind, so that she's easily whisked away to places, not necessarily by her own accord. I just heard Spirit say that she has to put her foot down. So the foot has to go down for her to stop where she's traveling or where she's going. And once she does that, she'll be better. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's like up to her that she's being carried away, and she just has to put her foot down to stop, to get some traction.
Awesome. Paula's put, Jane, can you tell me what my guides are trying to tell me, please? Much appreciated.
See,
That's a real difficult one because it's personal to you, isn't it?
Yeah. I would just say keep listening. Yeah, it's pretty personal for me. That's pretty big question, but I would just tune into them and keep listening. But I just heard put your head down and keep listening. Somebody got in trouble.
Awesome. How you doing? Oh, hello. We've got another one here. Carol's put thanks, Jane. Lee's put, is Darren one of my spirit guides, as he's always so strong around me and I can sense when he's close?
I feel that he is. As soon as Paul said the name Darren, I just saw a man smiling with a great big grin. So I'd say yes.
Yeah. Oh, Trudy Miller's put, I'm a spiritual medium and healer, but I run spiritual events. And her initial question, if I can find it again, is would love some guidance and advice regarding career path.
All I really heard was like I feel very dizzy right now. I don't feel myself at the moment, but I just heard keep going, keep going. I think that there's going to be a lot more events, bigger things are coming your way. I feel like I am. I do not feel myself at the moment, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if that is spirit coming in. I am getting over a cold, and I know I'm talking really fast, so that is not me either. So I don't know what's going on, but I definitely feel, Trudy, that maybe I'm talking faster because more things are coming in at a faster rate for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Alice,
very weird.
We're putting a lot of pressure on Jane. Have you got anything?
You guys
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you want to go? I've got someone as well, but I'll wait.
Okay, I've got a lady coming forward, and she's a young girl, a young woman that's coming forward. She's got long dark hair, and I feel there's a connection with, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Utah, Utah. Okay, that was as clear as day. Okay. So Utah is what I got. I've got the lady with long dark hair, very young. She also, I know as well, she talks about something. There was something. Oh gosh, there was something about being misdiagnosed. Something to do with a misdiagnosis as well with her. And I feel that she was very spiritual herself. She had, I don't know. Okay. And I don't know why I'm getting Indian tribe as well. So I'm getting Indian tribes. I don't know if that's something she believed in or not. But I do feel this woman, this young girl, was very spiritual. But Utah, UTAH, is what I got. Where is that?
It's in the States.
It's in the States.
In the
Yeah.
States.
Right. Okay.
I know we've got a lot of our American friends watching tonight.
I'm trying to see. I thought I saw somebody from Utah, so I'm just going through the comments previously to see.
Okay. I definitely got Utah. So they wouldn't be bringing me someone in unless there's somebody here that's going to take it. Do you know? So there's definitely that connection there. If anyone can take or understand someone even they knew in Utah, or if they live there themselves or near that area, please let me know. This young girl has got long dark hair, beautiful complexion that she comes in with. Quite a quiet young girl, I feel, as well. And I feel with her, she was very, very spiritual, but I do feel she was very, very quiet. She was very quiet and she was very, very sensitive. And there is also something about, now I don't know if it's herself that was misdiagnosed or if there's someone in the family connecting with her who has been misdiagnosed in some way. No, it's herself. No, sorry, it's herself. It's herself. She's just said, no, it's me. It's me. There was a misdiagnosis before they actually got to the root of what was actually going on with her. And she makes me feel that she was quite sick as well. I feel a seediness all around my stomach as well with her. I feel as well. There's another man with her in spirit, a younger man. It actually feels like someone. There's a younger man with her in spirit world. I feel this would be a brother connected with her, or someone that was like a brother, but they feel very, very close. It doesn't feel like a relationship, love. Okay, but definitely, anyone? Have I gotten anyone so far?
No. Tracy wants to put a message to Jane. For Claire, sorry, couldn't type quick enough before Alice started. I wonder if it's a client that came into our shop. She suffered with headaches and died all of a sudden. It was a shock. Just wondered if it was her.
Well, you just gave me full body goosebumps reading that out. So it's very possible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's what I've got. So I can't take it back. I have a friend who called Utah, who has connections with Utah, but I wouldn't know who this is without asking. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. So you have a friend who is called Utah, who has connections with Utah, but I wouldn't know who this spirit is without asking. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Can I give you what I've got? Okay, and I did get Utah, and that's how it was spelt as well. And it's definitely to do with the girl, Trudy. I had misdiagnosis, but Trudy, can you take Utah? Because I can't take that away. Utah.
Well, that's what she's the one that said about her friend in Utah.
Is it?
Yeah,
is
same
it?
person.
Right,
Same
I have a
person,
friend.
same Trudy.
I had a mistake. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, are you able to come on?
Let me put the link back in. It'd be great to get you on.
If not, then then I'll just carry on. But yes, I will pass it on. She was talking about Utah the other day. Okay, that's absolutely fine. If you can pass that on, that's great. But I also want to work with you. Okay. All right. I also want to work with you because they've gave it to me and a double whammy here. Okay. A message that you know about that you can pass on, and also my link and who to go to. Okay. So if you're able to come on, that would be grand. Okay. Because I would like to see now. Can I also ask? Yeah, okay. Is she there? Where is she?
No.
Okay, right. I'm going to carry on. I'll carry on then. And if you can just answer as well. Can you take also a man that passed the spirit world, and he ended up in either a high dependency unit or an ICU unit before he passed over to spirit world? Would you understand this as well, or why I'm getting the HDU or ICU? Can you understand this too? Trudy, this is for Trudy.
Yes, my
partner. Okay, can I please speak to you? Are you able to come on? Are you able to come on? Okay.
It'd be great if you can, Trudy. If you check out, I don't know where you're coming in from, whether you're coming in from Facebook. It doesn't tell me on here. Sometimes it is Facebook. Okay, if you look at Alice's, I don't know how to do it. There should be a link with a little duck on it. Okay, you press on a duck, it'll bring you into the studio. It'll ask for your name and permission to use your camera and microphone. Press that and you'll come straight in.
Okay, Trudy. Really simple. I'm going to carry on a little bit as well. Okay. Can I just say, can you understand then that your partner is in spirit world now?
Yeah.
I'm definitely seeing this man in an intensive care unit, and I don't know if he was on some sort of life support machine. Yes, he died 2 weeks after, because I'm seeing him on some. I'm going in and I can see him. I can see him in lying on the bed, and I can see all this equipment, and I can see as if he was intubated here as well. I can also see as well there was something about the lungs. The lungs weren't clear, in other words, that he wasn't getting. There was something about the lungs and the life support machine. And I can also say as well there was talk also. Okay, bless you, because it just also says, "Oh my goodness, I'm here." You know, he's desperate to speak to you, and there's just so much love pouring out from him to you. And he says, "I'm sorry, I just could not fight anymore. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I was exhausted." And he's also gave me as well. I feel either they had to switch the life support machine off. Something changed again with him, and I feel he also makes me feel even. Okay, I feel as well. They were talking about. Okay, he's got the tube. He's intubated, but they were also talking about doing a tracheostomy or something here as well. I don't feel they done that. I don't feel they did, because I just feel that things started to shut down. Okay, things were shutting down. He said there was a piece by piece of me starting to shut down, and they had to switch the machine off. He wants you to know, sweetheart, that he's absolutely fine. Stop worrying about me, he says. Stop worrying about me. You know, he said, I'm okay. He was a fighter, and he fought hard with this.
Oh no, she's saying they didn't switch it off.
Okay, was there talk about switching the machine off at some point? Because I can see the machine and someone talking about switching that machine off. No, he came off the machine himself. They didn't switch it off. Okay. But there's something though about the life support machine. When he was on it, there was talk about them going to switch it off. Okay. But he says here he couldn't fight anymore. He was absolutely exhausted. He was so tired. They didn't think he would pull through it. That's absolutely fine. He's also just said as well that all my life, I've had to fight hard for everything I got and everything I did in my life. But this was one fight too hard to beat. Okay. And he says that he just said to me there, and I know this is no evidence, but he just said, I understand the reasons why now. Okay. He also talking about a dad as well. I feel as a father or a father-in-law with him in spirit world. He's talking about a dad. He's very, very close to this man. Very, very close to this man. There's an older man standing beside him. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, can I just give you that as well? I know it's a bit of a delay, so I just want to keep going with my dad had passed yet, okay, because there's an older man with him. He just wants you to know that he's with him, okay? All right, and they're both okay, Trudy. They're fine, all right? But sorry, I just heard you've got yourself into a little situation just now that they're helping you get out of. Okay, very, very close around you, very close around you. You felt his presence anyway, he said, so she already knows. But sometimes it comes in and she thinks, maybe that was just my imagination and it wasn't him at all. Was there a flower? A flower left? Something about a flower being left. Something about a flower being left. A flower. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Was there a flower left beside his coffin, or a flower, just one flower put on top of something to do with a flower at the coffin? One flower he's talking about. Just the one flower. A flower was left. I'll leave you with that because I know Paul's to still do as well. Yes, a red rose. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, darling. Okay, please take his love, Trudy. I could speak to you so much more, okay? But I have to leave his love with you. But please know, darling, you're not on your own, okay? They're still very much around you. Thank you so much for coming forward with that, and bless you. And please be the wee angel messenger for this other lady as well. Okay. And you know what? I love Spirit. I just love you, because the way they brought that in was Utah. The connection with Utah. The message there with the long girl with the dark hair.
Yeah.
That, because I kept saying to them, well, where am I going? Where am I going? This is really difficult. I don't know where I'm going here. And they brought me that connection. And with that connection, for you to pass, but that was a connection because they wanted me to speak to you. And at the same time, I was getting Robert. And oh, who's Robert, by the way? Who's Robert? Who's Robert? Can you take Robert? The name Robert as well? Can you take that name? Bobby or Bob, Robert. I also was getting that name, and then I was also getting a man in intensive care. Sorry, Paul. Sorry.
That's all right. You're all right.
Alice.
I can actually see that woman behind you. She's been there. I've got my clairvoyance going on tonight.
Yeah.
She's actually standing behind you. I can see her as clear as day.
Okay.
My friend who died when I was 16. Ah, that's who it is. She's got dark hair. She's got dark hair, and she's standing behind you. Okay, we mustn't forget to do the free reading tonight, guys, as well, to choose a winner. So, guys, if you shared, please let us know if you've shared. And Alice, I'm sorry to say it's your turn this week. It was my turn last week.
That's fine. Listen,
right.
it doesn't bother me. Hey, no problem. No bother.
Well, all round to Alice's house. We'll all get a reading.
Sounds good. We just hop on an airplane.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Awesome. Lovely. Yeah, people are putting shared. Okay, listen up, guys. I'm going to bring for the love of this gentleman that I've got, who's been really patient with me and is really strong as well. I know this gentleman had problems with his circulation because he keeps making me feel a bit faint, a little bit. I'm not sure if that was a diabetic thing, but he also makes me aware of a heart condition as well. Now, I'm not saying that's how he passed. but I keep getting this high blood pressure feeling as well, like my head is banging as well. Interestingly, you had something similar with the back of the head. I don't have it with the back of the head. I just feel my heart pumping. I know it's blood pressure. Okay. Also, Carol's put she will hire a coach.
That's good. I love it, Carol.
With wings for me, please.
Awesome. Lots of people are saying they shared. Okay, let me bring this gentleman through. Let me get our focus and concentrate on this. Okay, he wants to come through. I know he's dad because he's telling about I'm dad. And also gives me the name Colin. I heard really, really loudly. Okay. Also, I know there's 2 children as well in the family. He's talking about the 2 children. I'm not sure if they're grandchildren. I also know, he's also talking about issues with his right, thank you. He's also talking about COVID and having problems with COVID. I do believe he's not been in the spirit world too long. Okay, I want to say, obviously, when the COVID came out, because I'm getting that quite strong. Okay, I know it's dad as well, and he keeps giving me the name Colin, and also there's the name Michael that links to that now. I believe it's family. Okay. I keep getting the same thing about the lungs, and again, similar to what you had, my lungs are filling with fluids. I can feel this, and I'm also feeling the COVID, which is, I said I'm not sure with why I was feeling like a blood pressure feeling. It's like I'm not able to regulate my heat. I know he's dad. I know he's dad to someone here. Okay, I don't know what that means, Michelle. Jordan Ronnie, I'm here, love. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, I know there was some frustration around his passing. I know the people wasn't able to say goodbye. I know there was a limited funeral, but there was only a few people, and it keeps giving me shouting at me the name Michael as well. Also, there's a bit of a twist in the tale. I'm sorry I'm not going to be controversial live on air, but there was a bit of a twist to the tale. I don't think it was COVID, but people assumed it was COVID, his passing, or they tried to label it COVID. Okay, I know it's his dad, and I know I was cremated as well, because he talks about being cremated. I know there wasn't many people at the funeral. He's also talking about the May birthday, and I believe it was near the passing. It wasn't far from the passing as well. I know Mum's in the spirit world too, because he's telling me. That's my husband, Michelle. Okay. Do you understand the information? There was a surprise about the diagnosis, or there was trying to say it was COVID. Do you understand this, Michelle? Love to get you on if we can. Okay. Also, the name Colin, he keeps shouting at me. Now, I know there's a lot of photos out about family. I know he passed from COVID. Forgive me, I don't want to be controversial about this, but he had other problems as well, or he had a weak immune system. There was other issues with him. You're at work. All right, I'm a bit gutted. Are you able to put the things up so people can see the comments, guys?
Sure. Yep.
And that'd be great. That'd be easier for me to keep coming out of the link and looking. Is making me aware. Again, I'm frustrated with the actual funeral as well. There was a lot of frustration and anger about this, and also I know. Sounds like Amanda as well. Yeah, the Amanda as well is trying to connect with. I believe they're in the spirit world. Also, he's trying to give me what sounds like Sean, but SEAN as well. Not Sean SEAN. Again, he's giving me this the May connection. There was a passing and a birthday in the month of May. He's also trying to give me the 18th as well. Also, I know this gentleman, it seemed to happen really quickly, his passing. Okay. Oh, I wish I could hear your voice, Michelle. He comes through with so much power. I need to give you this as well, because he said I held my dignity, and I know there was some worry about that. Would you also understand? Okay, I can't take this away. He keeps talking about there was something that wasn't quite right around the COVID. I'm so sorry. There was other things that have come to light. And he keeps taking me to a sideboard or a piece of furniture that's full of photo frames and pictures of family. Yes, he tested positive. 11th, 19, died 11th. Oh my word. Okay, is that 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
Have I read that right? 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of almost like, yeah. Oh, and the name. Oh no. Okay. Sorry, Michelle, but I've literally just heard your name being said. Your name. I just heard the name Michelle, and he's just connected me. I wish I'd got that earlier. I would have saved a lot of time, wouldn't it? He's coming and he's laughing, and I know he wouldn't go to the hospital. I know he wasn't too sure about this whole spiritual stuff, but he's absolutely blown away about being over there. I know his mother's in the spirit world as well because he makes it where he was comforted by mother. Okay, he's also, again, I've got another Brian. You had one earlier, Alice. The name Brian he's given me as well. There's he's also talking about someone else has brought him through, or someone else has felt him in the house. Would you also understand the alarm clock, or there was an alarm that went off on its own? Okay, there was some talk about an alarm going off on its own, and that was him trying to get notice. Yes, it's with his mum. I'm also we've got lots of mediums tonight, lots and lots of mediums. But would you understand he wasn't necessarily he'd listen and yes, I do. Okay, you understand all of this. There's another M, the Michael as well. You would understand the Michael that connects to this. The Michael. Okay. I'm going to leave his love with you. It's so sad that we can't get you in. We always love to hear the voice to give you more and more of the message. I know I can see your surname, but there is definitely a foreign connection as well into this as well, because he keeps trying to take me abroad out of this country. And I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Guys, can you pronounce Michelle's name?
Lichtenfels.
Yeah, it could be English. Who knows? But I'm being taken. I want to come in. Okay, Michelle's just said she wants to come in. Let's see if we can get her in.
Oh, bless.
So I've just shared the link. If you can come in, it'll be fantastic. There's so much love comes in from him, from the spirit world. There's also an August birthday, he's telling me. He wants to acknowledge the August birthday. The August birthday he wants to acknowledge. And I believe it's towards, also the 14th as well. He's trying to give me the number 14 that connects. Okay, we'll just see if she can come in. Also, you'd know a Michael as well, apparently, Jane.
Me?
You know a Michael as well, he's telling me. He's just told me you know a Michael. There's a Michael in the spirit world that you knew as well. Okay, there was a gentleman in the spirit world that had a motorbike accident, he's telling me, or some kind of automobile accident passed into the spirit world. He's also connected to the name David. The name David. And also sounds like a Welsh name that links onto that. He's telling me that it's for you. This is a message for you. Absolutely. There was also a German Shepherd with this gentleman as well, because he's talking about it. I love that.
No idea. I have no idea.
Him. He's talking to me. Tell Jane I've got this information for her as well. And the name David that keeps on coming in with that connects to him. Okay. Also, there was a Dean or the name Dean as well that connects to that. And I'm very much this is very much connected to America, is making me aware of. I know you've got some history with America. No, Michelle, your husband has given me information to Jane. Okay, this is not for you. This is for Jane. He's making me aware while he's waiting for you to come in on that link. He's just told me to tell you, Jane, there's also somebody else in the spirit world that you're not aware of that passed. And the name Michael that connects to that.
I have an uncle, Mike, but
right.
he lives.
Also, I'm in America. I'm in American. Okay, interesting. Well, he's taking me to California, Michelle, as well with this for Jane.
Huh.
So whether he's trying to give me like a cross message because you've spent time in California, lived in California, Jane, I don't know. But he's taking to me and using you and talking about California.
Huh.
I'm an American. Awesome. Still love to get you in, Michelle. Love to get you in here so we can connect to this. Yeah, there was a gentleman that passed in an automobile or motorbike, because I'm seeing flowers at the side of the road. Are you able to join in the links? If not, I'm just going to give the message as well from this gentleman. He just wants to be acknowledged. Also, Michelle, have you been talking about demonstrating, but like doing a mini tour, or some putting some demonstrations together? Because he's talking about that as well. And also, what sounds like the initial B he's trying to give me for a name. I'm not sure if it's Brad or Bradley, but he's trying to give me the initial B for a name. I'm trying. Bless you, Michelle. I know technology.
Yeah.
Once you get over a certain generation, it takes a long time. It took me years and years to try and work out StreamYard. But we're here now.
Bite your tongue.
Yes. Well, it took me hours and hours and hours to put all those clips together, which should really probably taken people that are techie 5 minutes. But, you know, no, we had 3 girls. Okay. No, he was talking about someone here with 2 young children. I'm not sure if she's watching on catch up, but it'd be great for you to come in, Michelle. And he was talking about 2 young children that were here. Everything but COVID. I think I'm with Michelle. My daughter is expecting number 5. No, I've got to be specific. He was talking about 2 young children. There was 2 young children he was talking about. Everything but COVID. No, I'm not changing that because I felt it. I work with Colin and son Michael. No. Colin was really connecting close to him. I work with Colin. No, I don't think it is Bridget. Just going to wait. If not, I'm going to finish this message. I know there's talk about you doing demonstrations, Michelle, and talk about you doing platform. Okay, because that's where he's trying to encourage you to go. On my phone, and it's not letting me in. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. So frustrating. But we can't stay all night. We'd love to stay on all night, but we got to get up in the morning. So I am an insurance agent. Okay, well, he's talking about your mediumship as well, and connecting you abroad, doing a couple of demonstrations. So look out for that. Yeah, okay. Okay, phone's not letting her in. That's frustrating. So frustrating. It's interesting he started talking to you, though, as well. Yes, I'm very connected. Okay. You need to look at that then in terms of actually going out there and giving those messages and working for spirit. Can you connect to animals? I lost my dog last Thursday. I am devastated. Life is eternal for all forms of life. There is animals. I've seen spirit where animals come in alongside their owners. So your dog, Susan, I'm sorry for your loss, but your dog will be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Zoe's put, what an amazing evening. And Deb has put, I love this, Michelle. Oh, that's nice. Okay. We're just going to finish off the message because he just keeps saying how proud he is of you and what you've been doing. Okay. And how resilient is the word that he's used. How resilient you are and how proud he is of you. Okay. I also can feel a mother-in-law in the spirit. Been Brill. It has, guys. We've really enjoyed your company. We'd love to hear from anyone. We will do another evening where we just do messages. I think we're due one, guys, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been awesome. Sorry if we didn't answer all your questions. Jane, is there anything you'd like to say as well? Because I know we kind of cut you off really at the end here.
No, it's perfect. No, I'm good.
And just to answer Sharon, I think it was Sharon asked, where's your voice tonight? You have been suffering with a bad throat, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. And guys, thanks for coming on and celebrating Spiritual Talk's 2nd birthday. It's been brilliant.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
It has. I'm reading the comments. Sorry. I'm reading the comments. So. Yeah, it's been a great evening or day.
Yeah.
It has.
Well, there's nothing worse though when your throat's not right, you know.
Yeah.
And sleep deprived doesn't
Yeah.
help either.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So we're back this time next week. I think is it you and I, Jane?
That's
Next week?
correct. Yep.
And then it's me and Alice, and then it's you and Alice. And I wish I hadn't have bummed in on your show this way. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all as it's meant to
No
be.
worries.
Absolutely. It's been fun. I loved it. Okay, guys. We'll see you all next week. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Do you know what? We're still live, guys. We are still live. So, and we've gone and forgot the
Yeah, I know.
message.
It's just underneath.
It's like you didn't pick a winner.
I mean, the actual reading. So we need to choose someone who's won a reading.
Surprise.
Honestly.
It's a birthday
Awesome.
surprise. Everybody likes a
Now-
surprise on their birthday. Birthday surprise.
So can I quickly pick someone that might still be watching
Yes,
that's
please.
never? I'm going to quickly look at someone. Just let me know if you shared quickly. Oh my god. I'm just trying to see the shares. Can you let me know, guys, if you shared? Because I can't see him. Do you know what? I'm going to go for Chrissy Wheatley. She
Perfect.
has got shared 4 times.
Oh my.
Wait.
She's definitely a winner.
And if you get in contact with Alice, how can we get in contact with you, Alice?
Just through the Facebook. I don't know if you're on Facebook just now, but it'll be Sparkle Alice Spiritual Medium or Alice Sparkle of Light Spiritual Center,
There you go.
or alicetrevorrow@gmail.com. Any of those. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, so I'm easy contactable.
Awesome. And goodbye, everyone. Take 2. We've said that before.
For reals. For reals this time.